the best book in my collection acquired in 2022. If the house is burning down, I'm running for this one first. Hey guys, welcome to the Paper Chase channel. So another year in the bag, 2022 is on its way out, but what have we accomplished? This is the top 10 best, greatest, most valuable books that I added to my personal comic collection. And I thought, hey, if the house was burning down, more like in my area, if the house was underneath a mass flood, these are the ones I would probably grab first. So without further ado, let's get into this list. What's a top 10 list without an honorable mention? Our honorable mention for this list is Spider-Man Adventures number 10. This is the first appearance of the animated version of Venom. This is a newsstand copy. A very sneakily pricey book. If this thing were to come back in a 9.8, and I hope it does, it definitely has a shot. But I just love the cover on this. I love that this is the first appearance of Venom in the animated. We all know Amazing Spider-Man 300 is just a monster of a book in a newsstand in 9.8. And this is kind of its counterpart in my opinion. I think a highly underrated, undervalued book. Let's continue. Number 10, we have G.I. Joe, number 21, direct edition copy. This right here is, as a lot of you probably know, is a classic G.I. Joe key. Why is it so special to me and in the number 10 spot? I barely watched G.I. Joe. It was in the lineup of Saturday morning cartoons. I kind of, pushed through it to get to other things I was more interested in. But the G.I. Joe series just in itself kind of screams nostalgia for me. And when I'm personally collecting, nostalgia is a big part of what I hold value in. I acquired this book in a comic collection that I bought earlier in the year, along with almost the entire G.I. Joe run, and it's probably going to grade at a minimum of a 9.2. So pretty pricey book. Have I read this book? No, I haven't. You know why? There's no words. This is a pictures-only book. I think is the first silent comic ever, but it is very unique in its own right. Happy to add it to my collection. This is number 10. Number 9 on the list is Amazing Spider-Man 252 Newsstand Edition. I got this book earlier on in the year and actually did a video asking, did I blow $250 by buying this book? I spent top dollar on a raw book newsstand because, well, from the pictures, it did look like a high chance of a 9.8 candidate, so I took the shot. Now, you'll see if you go watch the video, I did uncover some things. Unfortunately, it's not a 9.8 candidate, but nonetheless, it is still a Spider-Man grail that I've been looking to add to the collection. It's probably going to grade at around the 9.4 to 9.6 range, but a very respectable grade in this condition, a classic book that I had yet to hold in my hands in person. And I was very happy to add this to the collection this year. Now, number 8 on the list is a monster. Giant-sized, if you will, but not that giant. Close. XMen number 94. This is the second appearance of Storm, Colossus, Nightcrawler, third appearance of Wolverine, but the first appearance of these characters in the main X-Men title. This is just kind of a grail that is on most people's list. It's a book that I honestly never thought I would come into until years and years down the line of collecting. However, I did come across a collection this year that was massive. I think 33 long boxes, and I acquired almost the entire X-Men run from 94 till the end. I think I actually do have the entire run after I bought this collection. This was a massive book when I got it. Now, why is it not higher on the list? Unfortunately, when I got home and I checked it out, it did have a 2 or 3 inch tear running down the back cover. That's probably going to cap this book at around a 3.0. But nonetheless, this is a huge X-Men grail, and I'm just super excited to add it to the collection. Now, number 7 on that list, well, what is an entire X-Men run, if not for a high-grade copy of X-Men 141? This is a classic cover and has been homaged countless times. I even had a conversation with my friend Ashley earlier in the year. I had showed her an homage of this cover, and I was kind of explaining to her what the homage was for this original piece of art here, and I mentioned hopefully one day soon I'll actually acquire a copy for myself in high grade. And turns out this year was the year. This was in the X-Men run I acquired in the 35 long box collection. This thing is a serious 9.8 candidate. which definitely is incredible, and I can't wait to grade it and read it very carefully. All right, number 6 on the list is Hulk 340 classic Todd McFarlane cover. This one I actually picked up just a couple of weeks ago. I got it from a local comic shop. This is bought at More Fun Comics, which is in downtown or uptown New Orleans. And great shop, cool owner, great selection there. But he had this on the wall, and honestly, there's a couple reasons why I bought this. One, I've been looking for a high grade copy. I am a grade stickler. I do like high grade 9.6 to 9.8. It's just the way I like to collect. This is probably going to be like a 9.4 because though it's flawless on the front, there's a tiny, tiny crease on the back corner. The other reason why I bought this was honestly to support that local comic shop. I didn't visit this comic shop for probably 2 or 3 months after starting a business and all kinds of other stuff. I saw this on the wall. It presented gorgeously. I said, I've found so many books in this shop that were worth way more than what I paid for them. So I thought, you know what, let me just pay for what the guy's asking, which is $120, which is actually a great price for a 9.4 of this book. It's a great deal. It's a great value. I was happy to help out the LCS, and I was happy to finally add a high-grade copy to my collection. All right, number 5. Number 5 is kind of a batch. I don't want to call this cheating or not. I will pick one favorite out of this batch. This was a batch of some Bronze Age Tomb of Dracula books that I found from a seller on eBay. I'm going to show you one of them close in a second, but these books are extremely high grade. Plus, I'm a horror lover at heart. I absolutely love anything horror or Halloween. So the horror portion of my comic collection is very important to me. These are probably at the top of the echelon when it comes to the horror books that I own. So we do have a giant size Chillers #1. We also had this Tomb of Dracula issue #5 here. There's just a tiny little indentation right here that I could press out with the tack iron with a little ball bearing attachment on it. I can get that out. Final press. This thing I would put money that this is a 9.8. The condition on these books are insane. And then also we had this number, was it 16? Yeah, Tomb of Dracula #16 with a press. High candidate for a 9.8. These are the highest grades of these comics I've ever seen. It's insane, but this is my favorite. This is my favorite of the batch. This is Tomb of Dracula #18, the first meeting of Dracula and Werewolf by Night. I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to show you how high grade that this book is and how you can tell if a book is super high grade. Okay, I'm cradling it in my hand very, very carefully, but here's the book here. You can see the insane bit of gloss that is on this book. I mean, it's like somebody took it off the rack, bagged it, bordered it, and kept it hidden for, 30, whatever, how many years it's been. But listen to this sound. Do you hear that? That is the sound of superior page quality. This thing is damn near off the printing press. The only thing on it is a tiniest little spine tick right here that is slightly color breaking. However, I have looked at 9.8s of this book, and they actually do allow a couple of spine ticks on this because it's so hard to get in high grade. But out of this batch, these are probably my favorite 4, and this is my favorite one in the batch, #5 on the list. High grade horror, baby. Some high grade horror. All right, #4 on the list is a little Star Wars action. The Rise of Kylo Ren, issue #3, the 1/25 variant. Let me put this a little closer so you can see. This cover is amazing. When I first started collecting, which again was not that long ago, a Dr. Aphra 3 1/25 variant was on the top of my list for comics to collect, and this one wasn't too far behind. This is actually the first appearance of Avar Kriss in cameo, a hologram cameo from the new High Republic Star Wars series that I do think has some potential going down the line. But besides that, very cool cover. I really do like Kylo Ren as a character. Unfortunately, not utilized to the best of his potential. My dog is named Kylo. Kudos to Crystal for naming her that. Great choice. But yeah, the cover of this is just one of my favorite Star Wars covers of all time. Though I do think the spec market is dying a bit, I do think once High Republic comes out, it is going to add a little flame. It is going to add a little spark to that old spec flame, and I think this book might be one of the top books to have or that are sought after during a High Republic era for Star Wars that we are going to see in the near future. So this is number 4 on the list. Gonna slab it. 9.8 candidate all day. Going on the wall, not leaving the personal collection. Okay, we are now in my top 3. And this is a big year for this guy, though he didn't appear anywhere other than Spirited, which is a great movie. This is New Mutants 98. This is a newsstand copy. I had done other collection videos towards the beginning of the year, hoping that I would find a collection with this book in it. But again, I picked up that massive collection with the XMen run. It also had a lot of New Mutants in there, and it had this book in there. This is probably going to grade out at around an 8.5 to a 9.0. I don't see it being any higher than that. Regardless, this in a newsstand is something amazing that I'm honored to add to the personal collection. And it will stay in the personal collection until I get a higher grade newsstand copy. Even if I get a high grade direct edition, I'll probably keep that one as well. But I'm not letting go of a New Mutants 98 newsstand. I'm sure a lot of you would agree on that. Okay, top 2. Here we go. Number 2 on the list. Now, this is a massive Bronze Age book. This is Werewolf by Night, number 32. A book that I literally did not think I would acquire anytime soon or ever. This book was purchased off of eBay. I bought as a lot of 2. I bought this one and then Moon Knight, the Marvel Spotlight 28, his first solo story. I bought them together. I actually ended up getting a great deal on this book. For those 2 books, this one and the Marvel Spotlight 28, I actually got for about $400, which is insanely cheap. Now, how did I get this? Well, again, I look for the people that don't sell a lot of comics because they're not trying to sell for market value. They're people that want to just move the inventory, right? So this guy here was like, I'm done with my collection. They've been sitting. Here it is. He tried his best to grade it, but he failed to mention that there was a stain on the back of this book and the other book. So there was 2 small stains on the back. I told him about it. And the guy's like, look, I'm going to give you 50% of your money back of what you spent. So I ended up getting both books for $450 roughly. And I have an idea of how to move stains. I've actually done it before on a couple of books. I'm currently learning how to do it. This is a book that I've been kind of delving into and experimenting with, but a really cool book, very informative. Hopefully I can remove the ones on this book here. If I can, I think this book will probably grade out at about a 6.0 to a 6.5, which is way over the value of what I paid. It's going to take some time, some love and care, but I think we can get there. But this is number 2 on the list. This is also the first appearance of Moon Knight. I don't even know if I had mentioned that when I said this. But yeah, Werewolf by Night, number 32. First appearance of Moon Knight. Yeah. Okay. All right. So it's all culminated to this. Number 1 on the list is this book right here. Now, this is just the back cover. If you can guess what this book is by the back cover, you really know your comics really well. Real quick, before I show you the number 1 book I acquired for my personal collection, I do want to ask you guys, check out the links below for where I sell comics, Instagram, eBay, Shortboxed, and whatnot. Also, at the end, if you feel like this video deserved it, consider liking it, subscribing, commenting on it. Any of those things would be greatly appreciated. So, let's get into the final number 1 spot, the best book in my collection acquired in 2022. If the house is burning down, I'm running for this one first. This is Fright, number 3, first appearance of Freddy Krueger in comics in a 9.6. Now, I bought it raw, but it graded at a 9.6. The census count on this book is extremely low. Let me check real quick what it is. I looked it up. There it is, the CGC census. We can see there's only 7 of these in the world at a 9.6. There's only 1 in a 9.8, which I would love. So that is extremely scarce. Regardless, I absolutely love this cover. I love Freddy Krueger. He might be my favorite horror Halloween figure that there is. Everything about this just stands for what I like to collect. It's high grade, it's rare, it's horror, it's a great piece of art, it's a great piece of history. This was #1 on my list for 2022 in the books that I acquired for my collection. It's not going anywhere. Alright guys, well that does it. That is the 10 books in my collection. Thank you so much for checking out the channel. Like, comment, consider subscribing, and we'll see you next year.